皆様、本日は GISHW2 日目にお越しいただきまして誠にありがとうございます。大変お待たせいたしました。ただいまよりシンポジウム海外事例1を開始いたします。座長のハンス・ホースト・コンコレフスキー先生、どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GISHW 2025. Now we start Symposium Practice Track Sessions. The chair is Dr. Hans-Horst Konkolewsky. Dr. Konkolewsky, it is your session. Would you please start? Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this important symposium, a session about digital transition of prevention, because sometimes I use transformation instead of transition. I have to find out which I should get. We are living through a pivotal transformation in occupational safety and health. Digital technologies are fundamentally changing how we assess and manage risks, engage and empower workers, and implement preventive strategies. This shift marks a move from reactive responses to proactive, predictive, and highly personalized prevention. A key driver of this change is artificial intelligence. AI-powered data analytics are giving us the ability to detect patterns in vast and complex data sets, identifying potential hazards before they become accidents or incidents, optimizing interventions in real time, and enabling continuous learning across organizations. But technology alone is not enough. The success of this transformation depends critically on strong, forward-thinking OSH leadership. Leaders in occupational safety and health must guide this transition not only by adopting digital tools, but by championing a culture of innovation, ethics, and inclusion. They are the ones who must ensure that data is used responsibly, that technologies are aligned with real workplace needs, and that all workers, regardless of role or sector, benefit from these advancements. This leadership involves strategic vision, digital competence, and above all, a deep commitment to human-centered prevention. Today, we are honored to be joined by a distinguished panel of experts and leaders who are at the forefront of this digital shift, sharing practical experiences, challenges, and successes from different sectors and regions. Together, their insights will help us explore how digital technologies and the leadership behind them are shaping the future of prevention. So let's begin our session with perspectives from three leading voices in this exciting and vital field. So it's a pleasure to introduce, left-hand side, Andresa Hernandez. Andresa is well known, but as you know, she is Vice President of Safety at Siemens. Then we have Jakob Kort. Jakob is co-head Digital Transformation and Corporate Development in BG Bau, which is BG Construction in English, but BG Bau is how you present yourself. It's good. I think already everybody knows BG Bau. It's a good promotion. And then we have Vincent Young, who is the Principal Advisor at the Occupational Safety and Health Council of Hong Kong. Smart city, I've been there, really interesting. So, without any further, I would like to give the floor to our first speaker, Andresa.
So, good afternoon. It's really nice to have you all here with us. So make us energized for this afternoon. So what I'm bringing to you today, from strategy to experimentation. Some of you already heard about our strategy to drive health and safety forward and have, of course, the space of experimentation. So today I will guide you a little bit through this process and show you some examples what we are doing at Siemens. But before we go there, what is Siemens about? Siemens is a technology company. We create technology to transform the everyday to everyone. So it would not be different that you think about if tech is in the core of our business, tech is also in the core of our health and safety strategy. As you can see, our strategy for health and safety has three pillars. First is adaptive, that take into account a strategic foresight. Then you can go to the other side, so left to right, empowered people, because we work with people centricity. We put people at the core of everything that we do. And of course, you have the bottom part of our strategies is data and technology driven. And here is where I will guide you through what is about translating or transforming or bring technology and bring the strategy to reality from, I would say, for idea to experimentation to implementation. We see technology as a game changer. And why I tell this, we have, and we heard this morning also in the session earlier today, that most of the industry, we had done a lot. We decreased a lot of the incidents in our operations, but there is some plateau. And here I think technology will help us to drive things forward. I always use the example of Outlook. Yeah? Today, if you try to send it, please find attached the email, and then you click the send, but if you forget the attachment, Outlook will say, oh, you forgot the attachment. How do we translate this to the operation everywhere? To have an Outlook to remind people that, oops, you forgot lookout tagout, or you forgot some important step in your task. So this is how we see technology as a game changer. So let's go for some examples. I hope my video works, and it does. This example of our, we call remote audit. This was how we start piloting. But today we use these to support our teams remotely if they have questions, if they have doubts. So by using this mounted camera, they can really transmit remotely what they are seeing. And we can use this for assessment. We can use this for clarifying questions. We also did this for some risk assessment where people needed some experts. So we can use for many, many opportunities and not only focus on one use case of technology. Another example. Here you will see how technology can help us with ergonomics. This is one of our manufacturing sites where we're using ergonomics app to help us to identify the stressors during some activities. And the most important is not only recording a video and see where the stressors, but with this video, we capture the image and we can talk to the worker to understand how the person is feeling this thing in his own body. And you would trigger a meaningful conversation about ergonomics. Who knows the hierarchy of control? Yes, thanks God, we are OSH professionals, right? But who knows the hierarchy of control translated to the tech space? So what I call the 2.0 hierarchy of control. We talk always about elimination, right? So the first part, we need to remove the risks. If we do like apply digital twins, we can simulate what can go wrong before we put a person in risk. When we talk about substitution, we can use AI-assisted technology to help us to design and to review the operations. Engineering, the real-time IoT, the automation. And of course, we can go all the way down to the PPE with smart PPEs, wearables, and things like that. With one important remark that is still true with and without technology. Any measures that we implement is only good as the risk assessment or the risk management process that we put in place. And every time that we implement some technology, we need to engage with our workers, with the people working, because they know better, and they can help us to design and say what goes wrong and that we can eliminate. So the next video that I brought for you, we will see some examples, not necessarily, some is a showcase from our company's products, but you can see where and how we can really make good use of technology. Here you see the robot getting all the cans. Instead of having a human get every single can, you can have the robot doing the package, transporting. That helps a lot in the ergonomic, and also helps in the quality. And you can see the simulation where you can really work out the digital twins. Self-transportation that takes into account all the path, recognize some obstacles that you can find for proper logistics in your manufacturing sites. And we have these also installed in our own factories. Here you see another simulation in how assistant device can help us to assemble things in the right way, with lights showing a kind of digital footprint, a digital assembly path. This is a simulation for aerospace business. Again, you can see how the robot is stop doing this. Here you have chemical exposure, heat exposure, that you can remove people from that, ergonomic risks by using the robot. And the interaction, how we can work close to robot nowadays in a safe manner. This is a pharmaceutical application that you can have an environment that is completely safe from the external as well. So basically, all those examples is to really make us to think about what are the risks that we do have in our own organizations, and how can we use these. How can we use technology to really mitigate and make the workplace healthier, safer, that everybody can really feel good working whatever industry you are working. So I hope you take also this topic that we have a lot of discussion about technology replacing people. And I would not say that it's not replacing. AI, for example, supports the human to make a decision, that you have more data, you have create new insights. It's about technology that help us as humans, as people, but also help us take care of our planet. And the most important, connect health and safety to optimize the organization resilience, to optimize process, to optimize the interaction of humans and work, the definition of ergonomics, for example. So I hope this inspire you a little bit to look different to technology and to look how technology can support you to really get out of this flat line that we have in the reduction of incidents. So thank you very much. You need to turn on. You need to turn on. Turn on. Turn on.
Now? Better. Thank you. Thank you for Siemens' support in making this technology work. No, but thank you very much. And I think one of the interesting questions always when we talk about implementing this type of technologies at company level is, how do you do this successfully? Because when you show it to us, I think we're all convinced and think it's wonderful. But I know from many discussions also I had with people from Siemens that there's certain resistance because people, how do you introduce these tools in practice at Siemens? Because you have shown us some examples. In order to avoid that people feel insecure, does it affect their job, or is it something to do with their data privacy and so on? Could you just say a few words about this part of the experience of this transformation process, please?
Yeah, I think everything that is new brings some concerns, right? So what we always do is involve the people that will be around the technology. From health and safety application, also for industrialization, so change some equipments. So first is engage with the people. Talk about the reasons. So be transparent about why you are implement a tool or why you change a machine. And of course, get them to help in the design. So inform is not only a thing, but is engage and involve the people. Yeah. Don't forget your workers' council. Bring them with you, not only the workers, but the worker representatives, and discuss how to move and how to implement and why you are implementing this. So we had a very good and positive feedback with our ergonomic app. And you know, you need to record the person. But this is trigger, we have a lot of GPD, so the data privacy is respected. You need to check everything like this. And then you start to have a meaningful conversation with the worker. And then they understand why you are doing that. And then they help with the solutions. So you don't put the solution top down. You co-create the solutions with them.
A second question, thank you. A second question was, you mentioned at the very end that these improvements, these changes, transformation, you can see this at the also at the bottom line of accidents, no? And we talked about this plateauing, which we have observed, I think, globally. Have you already been able to see some impact of the digital transformation in terms of accident rates or absenteeism or other indicators?
Yeah, I can tell you, although I don't believe that we measure the presence of safety by LTIFR or those kind of recordables, but we can see that we are continuous decreasing our numbers of incidents. Yeah, so it's really, and the other thing that we see is that severity of the incidents, that is also important element, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Warm round of applause for Andresa. And don't worry, if you have any question, anything, take note of it, because at the end of our session, we will have plenty of time to take your question and to have a discussion. So the next speaker is Winston, I think. You see my row? Yes, it is Winston, who came just in time. No, Hong Kong way, Bob, efficient. And you will share some insights from Hong Kong's experience, no? Showcasing how digitalization and technology can support safe and healthy workplaces through public and institutional engagement. You have the floor.
Thank you, thank you. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the symposium. And I have to sorry that because it's a long way from the EXPO hall to here. So I just arrived just in time to follow the Japanese culture of production philosophy. And before I start, I would like to thank Mr. Hans-Horst Konkolewsky for organizing this symposium. It's a very meaningful event. We can exchange information and ideas on how to promote digitization on prevention. And here in my session, I will just have a quick, have you to have a look on our Hong Kong experience on how to promote digitization. And before I start, I would like to introduce our council. Occupational Safety and Health Council is a statutory body established by the government in 1988. And our role is to promote the occupational safety and health standard in Hong Kong. And next, I would like to share with you some examples. Because in the industry, we see that there are some pain points or some problems that we need to solve. And from here, you will see that we have some fatal cases happened in the lifting operation and also the load shifting machinery operation. And I can share with you that several years ago, we have fatal cases happened when our workers was entered the danger zone, the lifting zone. And then suddenly, the crane moved and struck the worker to death. And after the accident investigation, we found that that worker was belonged to another trade and was not supposed to work in the lifting zone. So we began to ask, is it possible we can use the technology to identify, say for example, if there are unauthorized persons entering the danger zone, then technology can help us to provide alert so as to prevent the accidents happen. So that's why we start to use the artificial intelligence in these years. In our workplace, from here you will see the example in a construction site. And by using the AI camera on site, we can see that if there are unauthorized persons entering the danger zone, then the system will provide alert to the operator so as to stop the machine and prevent accidents happen. And from here, you will also see that we can use the AI to detect whether the outriggers of the crane are fully extended, and also whether shackles are used for the multiple slings lifting. So from here, you will see that the use of AI is, this is some examples on how we can help to prevent the accidents happen. And here you will see another example is the excavation. Because it is the same, even lifting zone or excavation zone. We want to use the technology to prevent the people being struck or being hurt by the machinery. And we also see that to develop a smart site safety system, we need to have a good telecommunication network. So obviously, you can see that using 5G is much better than the 4G because it has an ultra high speed and also an ultra low latency. So when we say that we want to develop a smart workplace, how to make good use of the 5G to improve the efficiency of the telecommunication, this is a very important factor for us to develop a smart workplace. And next, I would like to show you, we also have an example of digital twins. Actually, this video I borrowed from Terence. He is the CEO of wearables, and he is a 4S supplier. And his technology of digital twins and also the digitized management platform. Lots of our public works projects have used this system. This system is very powerful because you can see that by using the digital twin, you can have a connection and also a real-time monitoring of the entire construction site in a virtual space. So as you know that now we have lots of sensors in the workplace. So you can see that by using the digitized management platform, you can have an overview of where are, say for example, if there are some persons inside the danger zone, or if there are any other hazard happen, you can have an overview by seeing the centralized management platform. And next, I would also like to talk about now we are also using the immersive cave to provide the ORS training. And from here, you will see that the trainee, he was standing on a virtual scaffold in a high-rise building. Suddenly, the scaffold collapsed, and then we want to let the trainee to have experience of falling from height. This is very important because why we use the cave? Because we want to let the trainee to experience the painful consequence of the unsafe behavior, such that when they go back to work, it can help to reduce their risk-taking behavior. As you know that more than 80% of the accidents are due to unsafe behavior. So most important is that make it as horrible as possible. So you will see we have used a motion platform here. Because when you use the cave, you only can provide a 3D immersive experience. But by using a motion platform at the ground level, then when you fall, you will feel very horrible. And then next time, he will remember this, and then he will not take risks again when he go back to work. And also, I would like to share with you, we also have many pain points actually, because in Hong Kong, we have lots of the dangerous working environments. We have a confined space, welding, and the paint spraying. Last year, we have a fatal case which involved 2 workers. When they conduct the drainage work, suddenly the workers were dead because of the exposure to the hydrogen sulfide. As you know that this is a very toxic gas. So we don't want to see fatalities happen. So what can we do? Is it possible we can use the robotics to replace human to do the dangerous job? So that's why from here you will see that there are lots of examples of using the smart robotics. Actually, all the organizations I bring here, because Mr. Hans-Horst, he's our very good partner. He said we should invite more Hong Kong suppliers, especially of AI or robotic solutions. So if you have time later after this symposium, you can have a look on our symposium on our Hong Kong Island. There are lots of the exhibitors, and they have lots of the solutions. And from here, you will see that this is a robotic dog. It can replace human to do the surveillance job inside the confined space. And we also have lots of the robot, such as welding robot, your paint spraying robot, and the demolition robot, etc. So later, if you have time, you can go to our Hong Kong Island to have a look on this technology. And next, I would like to talk about, because I think if you travel to Hong Kong, you will see that there are lots of the high-rise building. And when we need to conduct inspection and maintenance at the external wall of the buildings, usually we need to erect scaffold or gondola, and the practitioners have the high risk of falling from height. And I can share with you last year, we have a fatal accident involved the collapse of a bamboo scaffold from the 19th floor, and 2 workers were killed. So we also think, is it possible we use the technology to provide safer ways for the inspection and maintenance so as to reduce the accidents happen? So that's why in these years, we start to use the drones for the safety inspection. Because from here, you will see that when you can use the drones, then you can reduce the need of using the scaffolds or reduce the need of using the gondolas. And then you can reduce the need for the workers to work at height and reduce the risk of falling. And from here, you will see that the drones is equipped with an infrared camera, and it can help to detect the water leakage and also the surface cracking of the building. And the collected data can be analyzed by the AI system. And this product is developed by the ResMed. So if you have time, go to the booth of the ResMed, and you can see the drones. Actually, I bring some companies here. And also there's an Alpha AI. They also use the drones to conduct the external wall inspection. And so if you have time, you can have a look. And this is another product of a Square Dog Robotics. They have a very big booth there. They are our very big customer. They have around 4 booths to display their products. And from here, you will see that this is a Sky Wash and also the Sky Inspector. They help you to do the cleaning work at the external wall of the building, and also help you to detect whether there is a water leakage at the external wall of the building. So by using these robots, actually, you can reduce the need for the workers to work at height. And finally, I would like to talk about the use of the generative AI. As you know that this is a trend. And from here, you will see that according to the World Trend Index report from the Microsoft, more than 75% of the knowledge workers have started to use the generative AI. And as a safety practitioners, then we need to think how to use the generative AI in the field of occupational safety and health.
Namaste.
And from here, you can see that this is an example developed by our power company, Hong Kong Electric, with an IT company. And from here, you will see that this is a digital human with the use of the generative AI. And the purpose is to provide multilingual safety briefings for the construction workers. And why we do that? Because in Hong Kong, our construction workers come from many countries. It can come from Nepal, from India, and also from Pakistan. So using this generative AI is very simple. First of all, we provide the toolbox taught in Chinese, and then we can let the generative AI to learn. And then they can provide the training in different languages. And it is very important because when the workers, they can listen the training in their language, it can help to create a sense of belonging and help to cultivate the safety culture. And if you like, you can change the design of the digital human. Usually when we talk with the construction workers, they like the beautiful lady, so all you can design. So very convenient to use this digital human to provide the toolbox top. And this is another project that we developed with the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And from here, you will see Isaac is over there. He is the CEO of the AutoSafe. And this company is set up by one of our university, Hong Kong University and Science Technology. Because in Hong Kong, our university, usually we need to develop technology. And also we want to raise up some companies, some startups that can help to promote the use of digitization. And from here, you will see that this virtual construction safety assistant is very powerful. Actually, because how they work is that, first of all, you know that in the industry, we have lots of safety rules and regulations. And then we can fit all these rules and regulations in the generative AI system. And then we can fit the photos with good and bad site practices. And then we let the system to learn. And together with the large language model, and also with the AI camera on site, then this generative AI can actually help the safety officer to detect whether there is a safety violation on site. So it can detect, say, for example, if there are some unsafe conditions, such as there is no fencing at the floor edges, or there is some unsafe behavior, such as some workers are using the wooden ladder. Then by using this virtual construction safety assistant, it can help the safety officer to real-time supervise the site safety. So this one, I will not go into detail because Andrew has already explained to you. Actually, all the technologies that we mentioned follow the hierarchy of risk control by elimination, substitution, and finally, using the PPE, the smart wearables, is also very important in the digital age. Now our smart wearables have lots of choices. We have smart hammers, some smart watches, and also the smart bracelets. And it can help to measure the body temperature of the workers, such as their body temperature and the heart rate. So it's very useful for us to monitor the health condition of the workers. In March last year, actually, our council has launched the first Innovation and Technology Expo in Hong Kong. From here, you will see that more than 12,000 participants have attended the expo. And it is an opportunity to showcase our latest technologies and products.
歡迎大家參加職安健創科博覽，同世界各地嘅專家互相交流職安健嘅心得。
好高興咧，見到第一屆職安健創新及科技博覽成功舉行。希望大家能夠透過呢個平台認識更多嘅新科技，提高職安健嘅水平。
Expand your knowledge from our global experts in occupational safety and health, as well as innovation and technology.
Osh Innovation Expo showcases inspiring technologies and smart solutions for creating a safer workplace.
So here I have to thank Mr. Hans-Horst Konkolewsky for went to Hong Kong last year. He has provided us lots of the valuable advice without his advice, we cannot hold this Innovation and Technology Expo. And I can tell you that next year in June, 2nd and 3rd of June, we will try to organize the second time of this Innovation and Technology Expo. So at that time, I would like to invite Mr. Hans-Horst and all of you to come to Hong Kong. Not only have a look on the technology, but also have a look on the beautiful city of Hong Kong. So I will extend my invitation to all of you. And next, I would like to have a quick look on current challenges on digitization, because now we promote the use of digitization, but we see that we also have lots of challenges. Say, for example, now, as I mentioned before, there are lots of the AI experts now in the market, but how to verify whether they are expert or not? Because, say, for example, we have some suppliers, their products, say, for example, I mentioned we use the AI to detect the danger zone. But for some situation, even we see some cases, even the workers have not entered the danger zone, but the system still provide alert. So obviously, it is the false alarm. If too many false alarm on the workplace or on site, then people will simply ignore the false alarm or simply switch off the alarm. So I want to also raise the question is how to provide a standardization on verify the AI accuracy. This is the first challenges that we are facing. And the another challenges that we are facing is for the use of the new technology, it can also create a new risk. And I can share with you that 3 years ago, we have a fatal case happen in a food factory. When a worker was conducting the cleaning work, suddenly the robotic arm moved and crushed the worker to death. So it also, we also need to think why these fatal accidents happen. Can our risk assessment also extend on how to cover the use of the digitization? This is also one of the important questions that we need to address. And also, now we rely on sensors on the robots. But if these sensors fail, can we create a fail-safe system? So all these questions that we need to think. And finally, I would also like to share, because last year I have a chance to go to Barcelona, and then I see a very good company, Sambentus. I think, you know this company? Please raise up your hand. Sambentus. This is a very good company developed by ORP Foundation, because last year I have a chance to see the demonstration. The generative AI is very powerful because you just feed a photo in the system. Then it can help you to identify the hazard and also provide you some recommendations on how to improve the working condition. So with the use of these powerful tools, then some safety practitioner ask us, will their job be replaced by AI? But I can tell you that it will not, because I see that now certain human characteristics still cannot be replaced by AI. This includes our creativity, and also our emotion and empathy, and also our ability to understand the pain point of the industry. So in case of worrying whether our job will be replaced by generative AI, but I'm sure a person who cannot use generative AI may have a chance of being replaced. So please use the AI, embrace the AI, and also think more how to apply digitization in our prevention work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. And I didn't promise too much when I said they really developed and were some of the first as a city, but also as all the institutions to look into the potential of digitization. And the question I have for you is maybe the same as I asked Andresa. Have you seen any impact of, because you started early, have you seen any impact in terms of outcomes, negative outcomes, or reduced accident levels, or reduced health impact levels, or absenteeism, or other indicators? Have you followed up on, does it actually work in terms of the outcomes we expect from it?
Yes, thank you for your questions, because in Hong Kong, we're also facing the same problem. Is for our fatalities, for these 10 years, seems have not decreased a lot. Say, for example, in our construction industry, every year we have around 20 fatal cases. So I shared with you before, I mentioned the unauthorized person, there are lots of cases related to the unauthorized persons entering the danger zone. So now with the use of the digitization, we use the AI camera on site to see whether there are unauthorized persons entering the zone. And we see that now for these fatal accidents have started to decrease. So this is one of the examples we use the AI for detect the danger zone. But the next step, now we want to use more the use of the AI to detect the scaffolding. Because we also have some fatal accidents happen with the collapse of the scaffold. Especially in Hong Kong, you know that now we are not only using the metal scaffold, but using the bamboo scaffold is also one of our important trade in the industry. Not easy to replace all bamboo scaffold with the metal scaffold. We have around 6,000 workers, scaffolders, working in the industry. But we have some fatal cases happen in these years related to the support of the scaffold, because for the scaffolders, when they erect the scaffold, it is very stable. But for some persons who use the scaffold, say for example, some workers, they may conduct the painting work or conduct other cleaning works at the external wall of the building. Then they may want to take convenience, and then they cut the support of the scaffold. So now we have some new project to use the drones to do the inspection on the scaffold, especially on the support of the scaffold. Because you know that in Hong Kong, we have lots of high-rise buildings. So this project, we want to start to use the drones for the inspection. And we want to, through the use of this technology, we can further reduce the accident. But by using the drones, very important is that using the AI is very important, because for the drones, you take lots of video. Before that, we use humans to look at the video. Then quite difficult, because when you look at the video, you look at 10 hours or 20 hours, and then to identify the unsafe ad. But on the other hand, if you can use the AI to do the video analytics, then it will be more convenient for us to use. So come back to the question is, how to verify the accuracy of the AI is one of the challenges that we are facing. And we want to develop, say for example, if learn from your experience, if we can have a standardized approach such that in Hong Kong we can have a more systematic way to verify the AI accuracy, such that for all the applications using the AI, we can have more reliable that can help to reduce the accident.
Well, thank you very much. A warm round of applause for Winston.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And it's true, the first time in my life that I saw an exhibition focusing on innovation and technology was actually the one you just saw last year. And that inspired actually this exhibition, where we also try to bring not the usual exhibitors to an OSH exhibition. We have them as well, but we have also a lot of these new technology and ideas, because it's interesting that we have for the first time, I think, because as you know, I've followed it many years, for the first time we have really an environment of startups that really are looking into these opportunities, and it's digitalization, AI and so on. And so it's all these smart young guys who see the possibilities there that we actually do not see. And I think that's a great opportunity for us, and it will be great to come back and see what has happened since. And I hope also that you all will try to motivate this type of exhibitions, technology, innovation exchange. No? So thank you very much. So now we come to Germany, BG Bau, BG Construction. And Jakob Kort, he will share with us a very, very interesting story about how to use AI as a social accident insurance company. No?
Yes, thank you very much, and a very warm welcome from my side as well. Coming from Germany, it's not so easy to talk about best practices in AI for social protection after we've been to Hong Kong the last 30 minutes. But I will try my best to tell you about some best practices we've built up in Germany since the last 3 years in order to harness the potential of AI to make the workplace in the German construction sector a better place. And as maybe we are at BGBau not so famous as Siemens. I would like to start my presentation to give you an overview about what we are doing at BGBau. After this, I would like to talk about two best practices we have been developed together with other organizations in Germany. I would like to give you some insights about what we think are key success factors. And at the end, I would like to share a vision about a global network for AI and social protection. BGBau is, as introduced by Hans-Horst, a German accident insurance organization specialized on the construction sector. There are around about 3 million workers who are insured by our organization, and there are around about 600 companies we are taking care of. And of course, like in other nations, compared to other sectors, the rate of accidents, especially fatal accidents, is really high. And our core task is to prevent accidents and occupational diseases. And after something has happened, we are responsible for the rehabilitation process, for bringing our workers to clinics, to pay them pensions, etc., etc. And I'm telling you this as well because when we think about using AI as an organization, for us it is really important that our AI solutions have an impact for our core business, either prevention services or rehabilitation services. And the first example I would like to share with you is our first project we executed together with the support of the German Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. They funded this project with round about 3.5 million euros. For us, it had been a lighthouse project, and for them, it had been a project which helped them to declare to politicians what potential has AI for social security, and also to fund other projects. And what had been crucial for us when we started this project, that not only our IT department thought about what can AI do for prevention, but we discussed with our CEO, with our heads of prevention, and also with inspectors, how can AI help to reach the goals of Vision Zero, and how can we maximize the impact of prevention service. And based on these questions, we found answers. We developed an AI platform in 9 months. Whoever had been in Germany, you know, maybe for Hong Kong, it's easy to develop AI solution in 9 months. Maybe they need only 9 weeks. But in Germany, it had been very ambitious to develop such a platform to tackle these and further questions. And this is one of our core key success factors, that we not only build up one solution, but a platform which makes it much easier for us to invent new AI solutions for us and for other organizations as well. And as you can see on this chart, our AI model is based on 3 technological layers. The first layer is the data and AI platform. This is where the magic is happening. Round about 10 million data points are analyzed by our AI model. We developed this model together with our data scientists and with inspectors and with other colleagues. And it is important for us that the results of this AI analyzing process are displayed in the second layer at the management dashboard, so that prevention management, our CEO, our department could have insights about trends in prevention, so that we can design new campaigns or new services to tackle prevention challenges. And the third layer is maybe the most important layer, because all the insights about which enterprises have a higher risk for accidents than others, because this is the key output of our AI model, are displayed in a working list from the perspective of our inspectors. Each and every morning, they are around about 500, they get a working list, and the working list recommends which companies they should visit, because our AI model had displayed that they have a higher risk for accident and occupational diseases than others. And then, this is really important for us, they decide, not the AI model, they decide where to go. And the AI model is deeply integrated into the working process of our prevention experts. So they get weekly updates, they see the risk indicators, so they not only see which company has a higher risk, but why has this company a higher risk. Maybe it's growing too fast, or maybe they have a lack of sending their workers to our prevention centers in order to train them how to prevent, for example, falling from roofs. And maybe you can say you could do it by analyzing these data by yourself, but as we are talking about 10 million data points each and every week, and we are integrating more and more data sources like weather data into this model, you maybe see what potential this model has. And for us, it is really important, like a startup, to develop this model further and further. Therefore, we've established a feedback loop. So our inspectors talk with our data scientists, with management level, in order to improve this AI model month by month. And as mentioned before, the AI platform not only saves lives, but it also saves money. Most important for us, it is that the AI platform saves lives. But for us, it is also important that money is saved. We calculated around about 250 million euros, which are saved in between several years. And this is a lot of money, in our opinion, which we could invest to new AI solutions. And another AI solution, which I would like to present to you, is an AI solution which helps our inspectors to save money after they had been on the construction site. Normally, they report by hand or with the help of an iPhone what they have seen, what they recommend, etc., etc. It takes them around about 30 minutes, and we've developed an AI tool which saves time so that they don't need 30 minutes, but only 5 minutes. We think this is the beginning of revolutionizing AI tools which help our inspectors. And as you can see, in sum, we are talking about around about 9,000 days. So it's a lot of time which can be spent in prevention services, in human interaction, etc., etc. And for us, it has been important that this AI tool not only has been developed by our organization, but together with 6 other social accident insurance organizations in Germany, so that other organizations could benefit from this tool. And for us, it had been something like the proof of work that our platform is able to scale AI solutions on a national and on an international level, because we already talked to colleagues from the Japanese Ministry of Labor, Health and Welfare. They also started a project like this. We talked to colleagues in Brazil, and we are convinced that we could work on these tools and coming AI tools together with international partners. Some key success factors we've been analyzed after we've developed our AI platform. As you can see on this chart, there are a lot of key success factors. For example, choosing the right IT provider, choosing the right data sources. Of course, this is maybe one of the benefits we have in Germany when it comes to digital transformation. We have a lot of data in our IT systems, but the challenge is always make use of this data due to data restrictions. And one thing which is really important in my opinion is that we had been able to combine, on the one side, developing a strong AI model for social protection, and on the other side, something which we have been developed with our Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs in Germany, guidelines for the use of AI in the administrative work of development and social protection services. This is a very powerful guideline in our opinion. We use it every time when we think about developing or buying new AI models. And what had been really important for us, it built trust in our organization, because when we started, and we are far away from an adopting rate around about 90% in Germany, when we've started our AI journey, there had been a lot of skepticism in our organization, and we try to tackle this in launching an AI awareness campaign. So we developed models to teach our people what AI can do for their jobs and for safety and health in the construction sector. We talked a lot to them, and we've built up 9 sequels in order to bring the core messages of AI not only to management but to all people in our organization. And we've seen month by month that the skepticism was declining. And looking back 2 or 3 years now, right now there are so many people who have so many ideas about using AI for our organization and for making the construction workplaces safer and healthier, so that it is really a challenge for our department and our IT service provider to bring all these solutions to work. But I like this situation or this challenge more than the other challenge to convince all the people how to use AI in social protection. The last chapter, I would like to share a vision we are thinking about together with other social accident insurance organizations in Germany, also together with ISA sections or with OECD. We would like to build up something like a global network to talk about AI in social protection like we do today, and to maybe develop solutions together. When I have a look at the solutions presented from our colleagues in Hong Kong, I saw so many potential for our organization, and it would be great to find ways to cooperate, to work together, to maybe invest in the same startups, or maybe together invest in the same LLM models to build up platforms which can be used by colleagues in Hong Kong, Germany, Brazil, and in other countries of the world. And one thing which is, in our opinion, something we could reach in the coming months is something we call a Vision Zero platform, AI-based, so that all the information which is shared with this platform can be consumed in each and every country, in each and every sector. And to put it simple, we developed something like a business environment with ChatGPT in which all our informations had been stored, how to prevent yourself, your workers, from the negative influences of sun in the construction sector. And this model makes it very easy for the people in the construction sector to consume the information like they consume information when they use ChatGPT. We called it ChatGPT for prevention. Maybe we find a better name for it, but we see so many potential in it because we are just at the beginning of using these AI models, and we are really convinced that it is worth the challenge to develop such a platform together with other international partners. And the other idea we are talking about is something like develop an AI app store for AI solutions in social protection. I'm totally aware that it is not so easy like for consumers to download apps on your mobile phone, but the core idea behind this is that the solutions I've talked about today could be used by colleagues in Hong Kong, in Saudi Arabia, or in other countries, because we are all using the same digital infrastructure. And these solutions have been built with open source code, and they are built in a modular style so that we could invest together into solutions which could be used by a lot of countries in the world. And lastly, I would like to thank you, and hopefully you enjoyed the presentation, and I'm really looking forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jakob, for this. I think I didn't promise too much either here, because this is really a fantastic innovation. I know this project has been rewarded. I have been at one of these rewards, and I must say this is really well deserved, because you show the power of the data you have, because the big advantage is you have all these data sets, and you know their quality assured, because this is one of the big challenges when you use these AI and ChatGPT and others, that the quality of the data is simply decisive. One thing that I thought about is, because as you also explained, one of your important roles is to advise your companies that are insured in order that they themselves, of course, as it should be, reduce their accidents and their diseases. And my question is, this system that you have developed, does it also have a portal for the companies so they can make use of the data you have? Because this morning when we had our summit, there was this discussion about collaboration between companies and authorities, and so far many companies just see the authority as a top-down organization, and they are not asked. No? And the question is, can you also use this to have a dialogue with companies, give them these tools so they themselves can get access to their data and the general data to find out how they're ranking, or try to find out for themselves, not only when you and your inspectors come out, because they're limited resources compared to the many companies you cover. Is this part of the project also to have a sharing with the companies themselves?
Thank you very much for this very interesting question, and hopefully coming back next year to Osaka or to Hong Kong, I can showcase the solution to you, because we are already working on a platform like this to integrate these tools together with a customer perspective, so that our companies or our workers can make use of the data. And it is something we are developing with a lot of other social accident insurance organizations in Germany, because we are convinced, like portals in Australia or in Singapore, you don't need 10, 20 or 30 of them. You need one for social protection or for social accident insurance organization. And we built up an AI model, which we call Otto, because Otto from Bismarck is the one who has invented our social security system. And our AI agent will be called Otto. This AI agent will guide our customers to the data points, to the services, etc., etc. And it's built up in a spirit like Estonia, for example, builds up their solution. So we are talking about proactive solutions. And we really hope that this will have a booster for our companies. We also integrate, for example, TikTok videos in this solution, because we are really convinced that the people don't have to go to our organization, but we have to be present in their daily life and to make it easy for them to use our solutions.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Once again, warm round of applause for our three fantastic presenters. And as I promised you, there will be plenty of time that you can reflect and you can ask questions, because I think this was really, very interesting. So we have microphones. Do we have somebody who can walk around with a microphone? Yes, we have. So please raise your hand and just present yourself briefly and whom you address your question to.
Very good. Thank you. Mikko Välimaa from Finland, working for Konecranes. I'm very inspired by the presentations. Thank you very much. At the same time, very embarrassed about how behind we are. But of course, the only way is forward. That said, we are also, as a company, we're piloting with video and using AI to analyze hazards and people behavior. We're piloting with generative AI for service techs out in the field. We are having serious reliability issues and getting wrong answers, just like the Hong Kong example was. So I wonder what kind of strategies or tactics you have for the quality development to identify mistakes and then to teach the AI further. Because of course the risk is that people will start to trust it maybe too much, and then if we get wrong guidance, that can actually lead to even more incidents happening. But thank you again for the very good presentations.
Yes, I think this is a fantastic question, no? Because I heard before Andresa put a stress under saying these are not decision-making systems, but these are systems that can advise, and the decision finally is taken by the competent person, no? And then we saw that this is something that moves by itself, no? Suddenly we have all these apps and we have all these solutions, and I think it's a very relevant question. How do we maintain control with that, and that we are in charge and not that the AI is in charge and we have erroneous solutions? So please, I think it was an excellent question.
Thank you for your questions. As I mentioned before, this is also one of the challenges that we are facing. But what we are thinking is, first of all, now we have start to develop some criteria on how to determine or standardize the verification of the AI accuracy. The first one is that, first of all, we will depends on how many photos you feed in the system. Because as I mentioned before, we are using the AI for the safety inspection. For some companies, they just mentioned they use several hundred photos, but we see that the reliability is very low. So one criteria that we are using is we need the companies, at least they have more than 10,000 photos. But you will also think that if even many photos, your question is, are the qualities are good? Even if you feed it 10,000 or 20,000, if the photos are not stick to the point, then it is biased data and it is affect the accuracy of the AI. So now we have discussed with the IT companies, because we have a look on their photos. We find that sometimes they are quite difficult to find some good quality of the photos that's showing really the unsafe condition or unsafe behavior. But for our council, because we are responsible for managing the independent safety audit scheme for the public works project, we also have lots of photos. So we are now thinking on whether we can share the photos, but we need to get the consent of the works department. If we can share that photos, because there are lots of the photos relating to the regulations. If we can share that photos to the IT companies, then they can have more photos of a good quality that can help to increase the accuracy of the AI. Because now we have another project, our Labor Department in Hong Kong also start to think whether they can use the drones to do the inspection. But this is different because at a company level, we use the drones for the surveillance. But if by the regulators, they use the drones for the law enforcement, then we are also thinking that photos are very important. The AI system is also very important. If it is not reliable, then we make a wrong prosecution, then it will be a big trouble. So we are also thinking how to broaden this, how to continue to address how to solve this solution. But we will try our best to think more, to have more photos, more good quality photos, and need cooperation with all the stakeholders to develop a standardized approach on verifying the accuracy of the AI.
Thank you much. Are there other comments? Because I think this is something you also consider.
We like to learn from our mistakes, right? So we are a tech company. We have a lot of smart engineers and people that can code fast. So a couple of years back, we developed our own algorithm for this AI in India for one of our plants. And we run this, yeah? What we learned, this is, we can do, is not our core business, but we have capabilities, we have smart people that can do. After evaluating a lot of the alarms and things, we came to the conclusion, let's go to the market. Let's use the ecosystem. Because then you have more people training the machine, the code that you are using, so the language, the AI that you are using. So we have now 2 pilots going on, one in US, in Austria, with an external provider to really, that has a lot of experience. This is their business, their core business, and this reduces a lot the, let's say, the false alarms. Yeah, we learn, and we tried, and it's okay to say that, okay, we need to move to different cooperation and use the ecosystem to really increase the accuracy of the machine.
Jakob, do you have a comment?
Really important what we call to keep the human in the loop, and the feedback process we've established is really important. Like you said, we are learning from our mistakes. The inspectors are meeting every 2 weeks with our data scientists so that they talk about how they can improve the system. We've also launched a data quality project, and they give their hints to the colleagues from this project on how to improve the quality of the data. And what is, in my opinion, really important, even though you can't measure it, I myself, our CEO and other people from management level, they are talking a lot to the data scientists, to the IT providers, to the inspectors, to see if the tools have a benefit, to get their perspectives on the tool. And for example, our CEO has a prevention background, and for him it is really important to talk to a lot of people. He's at the forefront on pushing the AI journey, but he also talks a lot to the people. And it's maybe simple, but I think this is one of the key success factors.
Well, thank you very much. And talking about failures, human failures, because I remember one of the cases you mentioned is the Saventis system, where you can take a photo of a workshop, for example, a car workshop, and then it analyzes it and makes proposals to what are the risks, and if it observes any risks that need to be fixed, that it also makes proposals for that. And then I just thought, how would you as a professional go into that workshop? This depends on your background. If you're an ergonomist, you will look into how is the ergonomic situation here? Which are the risks? It would be in your mind because it's your entry to it. Or if you are, I don't know, an accident specialist, you look at the accident risks and whether they are. If you're chemistry, you would look at the chemicals on the place. So it is such a variety of things that can be difficult for one person, for one inspector, or for one safety and health professional to do. So I saw it really more with the risks that there are that you have to control and say verify it, because this is always the most important, to verify the proposals, but that you suddenly see more than you would see as an individual also. And so when talking about, I think, the failures or the risks for failures, yes, they have to be analyzed and they have to be improved, hopefully up to 100%, but still you will have a better basis, even with the system that is not perfect, than what we have today, because we can see as accident rates are no longer going down, we need to do more. This is, but the reflection I think was very, very good. We have time for other questions, please. Don't be shy.
Hi, I'm Anders Petersen from the Confederation of Danish Industry. First of all, thank you for a very interesting panel. Just a question, moving to the human factor of introducing new technologies. Jakob talked about this skeptic colleagues about introducing AI technology into this area. Have you other two met this factor that using AI, replacing senior OSH experts mechanism into a computer that could prevent some for using it?
Andres, I asked you more or less about this earlier, no?
I think maybe because we are in a tech company, I don't see this fear. People are more open to try, and they see this more that, okay, this can do automatization of tests that I don't need, and I have more time to do something more meaningful. So they are much more looking for solutions to do things different, that they can have better time and save time to things that matters. For example, the ergonomic part that I showed. So this save more than 2 hours of our CFAs, our engineers or our ergonomists in average, yeah? When they want to do several, this is easy, upload, give good and meaningful conversation, and chop, they can move to another task. So honestly, I didn't heard any in our organization any like pushback, but more like, can we be faster on this?
Well, it's funny because I thought about something similar when I saw your presentation, Jakob, because you said we built this so the inspector, when prepares the visit, focus visits on the areas where they're most needed, because this is always the question, because you cannot look into the company by using these data. But then I thought, is it actually necessary to have your inspector out there? Couldn't it be just an avatar? Because why do you have to sit in your car, drive there, pollute the planet, if you can just communicate directly with the company?
You're totally right. Avatar? You're totally right. And as this panel is recorded, I have to be careful what I say if somebody is listening from Germany as well. But I think we will see solutions like this in the coming years. For example, we are also working with virtual reality classes that we can send to the construction site. This is maybe one solution. The platform I've talked to you after your second question is another solution. And we are talking very transparent about that our goal is to leverage the contact from organization to customer to digital to customer. And I had been very impressed by the virtual presence of the avatars you've generated. And I think I would like to talk to you if we could do something similar in Germany. So I think this will be the future. But on the other side, we also say, and I'm convinced that I can say it honestly, there will no one be missed because we have to deal with the demographic change in Germany. And this is something we are talking a lot about as well. So even if we find a way to leverage our services to a digital platform which talks to our customers, I think nobody has to fear that he loses his job. And this is, we're talking about this in this general management perspective with our organization.
No, obviously, because you say about 500 inspectors, 600,000 companies, it's obvious. So if you then use the inspectors where it's really needed, no, and things you can do online and you don't need to be there. So it's also much better use of the resources, and therefore their impact on prevention is much higher than, because today you send them out a bit and say, we expect that we see something out there, no? But you're not sure. Okay, that was an excellent question. So I think we have still time for questions. So. Who comes first? Otherwise, we close, huh? It's your option now, opportunity to get into dialogue with these three guys. Otherwise, empty time. No?
We realize that in Hong Kong, you are using a lot of what we call those AI, photographs. Because I went up to the booth also, to see some of the Hong Kong, those what we call AI system. So I just wonder at this moment, are they that really mature yet? Because they said what we call you can detect, like confined space. If the worker fall down, they can detect that the worker what we call if not enough oxygen, they fall down. Do you have any statistics that, how successful is this, like confined space? It must be, is it a 90% detection rate? Or is it a 80% detection rate? Or is it a 100% detection rate? Do we have certain statistics to show that how successful is the AI? Or even your lorry, your tipper truck. Your tipper truck, you have 4 corners, you have sensors. And how successful is that what we call detection system, have been used in Hong Kong then?
Yeah, excellent question.
Okay, thank you for your questions. And I honestly speaking, when we start at the beginning, then we face lots of the problems. But now it's much better because because our government has the initiative. Say, for example, in Hong Kong, around 5 or 6 years ago, we already require for the project with $4 million or above, then they need to develop a smart safety system. And for the works department, they have also write a manual that require the contractors to develop what kind of the system and also the specification. So this is much easier because if the drive is from the client, then it will be much better for the contractors. Then they will follow, and then all the IT companies, they will also follow this practice. For the application of the technology starts already several years ago. So now for the system, I can tell you that it is quite mature. And even for the confined space, this is you mentioned as an example is very important because it's a high-risk job. So for the data, say for example, now in a confined space, we have the sensors to test the concentration of the gas. And then we will do lots of the verification because this cannot wrong. Even for the hydrogen sulfide, for the carbon monoxide, if the percentage is varies, then the worker will have a great danger. So we also write in the specification, there are lots of the verification on how to improve the accuracy, lots of the checking. So I agree with you that it takes time. Now I can say that the system is quite good, but we also strive for continuous improvement. So that's why we share this in this symposium. We also want to cooperate with different stakeholders so as to make our system more mature, more reliable, and most important is to help to cultivate a culture of prevention. Yes.
Thank you very much, Winston. Are there further questions? Yes, Ralph?
Yeah, my name is Ralf Franke, Siemens. Maybe not a question, just a comment on this. We experimented with this CCTV surveillance tool in one of our countries. And at the beginning, we have many failures, and it was a learning system. It got better and better. And we reduced the amount of incidents by 90%. And even when the system was not working, because people were thinking, oh, Big Brother is watching me, and I have to follow the rules, and I have to behave. So therefore, it's just a kind of mindset, and the tool is just in terms of changing the mindset of our people, in terms of following the rules, knowing what is the risk, evaluating the risk, and then drawing the right conclusions out of it. And that comes to the other point where the Danish colleague here asked a question whether the people are afraid of losing the job. Yeah? And here I always tell my people, my vision is that we don't need EHS in a company. Why? Because everyone in the company, leaders and employees, know what to do, what is right, what is wrong, how to identify a risk, what is a risk, how to evaluate the risk, and then draw the right conclusions out of it. And here, artificial intelligence can help us, because in the first instance, it's starting with the problems in my own organization, because many of my people are safety guys. But the organization is EH&S. So they are facing a lot of, let's say, competence issues around environmental protection in the course of all the sustainability laws, Green Deals and so forth. So they need to understand the environmental laws, they need to translate that into business needs and so on and so on. But they are safety guys. The same happened during the pandemic when they turned into medical doctors to understand what a virus is and these kind of things. And here, artificial intelligence can help, in the first instance, our people to cope with all the demands. And in a second step, then, also help the leaders and employees to cope with all the demands and challenges and risks. So therefore, I think in the long run, artificial intelligence can accompany us towards no more EHS people in the company. So.
Thank you very much, Ralf. It's funny because in my world, I would say this will take prevention to the next level and bring us closer in our journey to Vision Zero, bring us closer to our vision. Because it's obvious we need to use technology. We have not been used to use technology in our field, let's be honest. You maybe have an Excel sheet, wow, checklist, and that's it. Because the rest was really the individual professional who had, in a way, to manage already now a very, very complex area. And now with all these new things like mental health issues, other issues, it becomes even more complex. And therefore, that we see these things are already developed. They're there. Siemens is doing what we saw. This is a reality. Hong Kong is doing what they're doing. We see how also authorities are using this in order to improve their prevention capacity in a more productive way also. And I think that's the positive message for me. This is something, you cannot stop it, you can try to ignore it, but it's there, and I think the important thing is that we start sharing systematically, and this, amongst others, what Jakob does, these kind of experiences we have, these good practices we have, because basically you can use and transfer the solutions from Hong Kong directly to any other environment. And that's also new, because before we said, oh, it's very complicated because we have a different culture and the language issues and so on. But here we have actually solutions like in the other parts of our life where we don't look into how we use technology, driving cars or whatever we do. So I think this is also a thing for us to think, how can we maximize on the investments already done and spread them in our community. So I think this is something, at least that I'm occupied by, to see. Now we see that this is happening now, and how can we integrate it in our organization, and any organization will be different, because this question that came from Denmark, I was put, when I talked about this once, about this digitalization, was exactly the question that came up. What does it mean for us as prevention? Will we be superfluous? And of course, in this vision of getting there where we do not have any harms anymore at the workplace, this is true. But what I see is that instead of having to use one's time on administrative tasks related to compliance with often very complex regulation, you actually can do preventive work. I remember when I worked in the Danish labor inspection, we tried to set targets for how much of percentage of one's inspector's time should be of the company. And the maximum we had was 27%. And we were proud of that, which meant all the other time was used on administrative stuff. And I think if you transfer this to the world of any preventionist in any organization, you will have a similar rate. The percentage of time that you really use on prevention, on talking to colleagues, to the managers on the real strategic issues and all of this is very, very limited, because you're so busy just, complying with the existing regulation and all the documentary things that you have to do there, and the time it takes to do, for example, an ergonomic report. No? This Salentis model you maybe saw there, no? where you take a video of a certain work procedure, and then 5 minutes later you have a 200-page report based on the most prominent international ergonomic standards and practices, instead of having to analyze each photo, so to say, and then writing your report about the movements, and it's even just in 2 dimensions, and the system can see it in 3. So at the end of the day, instead of working 1 week as an ergonomist to prepare this report, you have it in 5 minutes. Then, of course, the ergonomist has to go through it and say, do I agree, not agree? But there is a huge difference in this administrative burden, because I think this is something we all know, that we rather would work much more with the prevention issues than with all these administrative tasks. And this is at least where I see this AI and this can come in immediately, because it can manage all this data, and it can manage it for us in a much better way than we can do it. Well, with this final reflection, I would like to thank once again our panel. Thank you very much, Andresa, Jakob, Vincent, for sharing, I think, 3 very different, but anyhow also very consistent presentations and experiences. And why not go to Hong Kong next year? Why not? You are here now in Osaka. It's not far from here, no? So I couldn't recommend it, because I was really impressed, and so far we don't have that many exhibitions of the time. But why not also exchange business cards with Jakob and hear how their system is developing, because he talked about something that will be available for everyone, no? And Andresa, Siemens, we meet all the time because they're everywhere. But also to have these type of experiences that are from a company level, which at the end of the day is what interests us, because we want things implemented. So I think this was a fantastic... yeah, because this, I actually wanted to ask you whether these developments you do internally, isn't this also something that you could share and sell to others?
Basically,
Ralph looks.
Basically, the last part of my presentation was a video of the products that we develop.
Yeah.
So everybody can buy it. It's applied to different type of industries. Yeah. This was not exactly, we don't produce cans, it's better in beverages, so it was just prototypes that we have in solutions that we can sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will have a stand at next year's exhibition in Hong Kong.
Siemens can have.
Very good. Well, thank you very much to all of you. Thank you for staying with us and enjoy our days. It just got started. Thank you so much.
コンコロフスキー先生、そしてスピーカーの皆様ありがとうございました。Thank you very much, Dr. Konkolewsky and all speakers. Please give them a round of applause.